Well, can't win them all, I guess. So the Witcher TV series is been out for about like a week now, I think, if I recall, and got a lot of positive feedback with tens, nines, and a little bit of eights. YouTuber Angry Joe gave it an 8 out of 10, which is pretty good. I think that's what it deserves. I think the fan in me got the better of me with my review on Instagram. I gave it a 9. But a week later, something came up. Critic reviews started to roll in. I got my laptop here with a lot of the stuff here. IMDb gave it a 10 out of 10 at release, and it has now been lowered to let me get it up here, an 8.7 out of 10. And at release, or premiere really, um, on Rotten Tomatoes or Tomatoes, whatever, wherever you pronounce it, gave it a 58%. Rotten Tomatoes, how the score works is that below 70 is rotten and above 70 is fresh. That is their score. At release, it was a 58. Now they've lowered it to 55. So I'm going to bring up what they said about it. And honestly, the review's bullshit. The audience review is quite different after I read it. It's just don't know if they've deleted their review or it's just not showing more information. The series gets an average tomato meter when at least 50% of its seasons have a score. The average tomato meter is a sum of all seasons scored of blah 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 blah. Okay, that's just how it works with TV shows. That's about the show. Can you actually say what you thought of it? The world of The Witcher is still only feels half formed as it gallops onto screams, but Henry Cavill brings yeah. So a brawny charisma to a series teeming with submissive fantasy elements and dark humor. The world of The Witcher still feels half formed. Half formed. Seriously, this is the first season of the show, and the first season is based on the book The Last Wish, which is a series of short stories. And you're saying the world is half formed. And the audience review is so different and so much more accurate. 93%. This is a perfect example of the dividing line between critics and audiences, and it needs to be fixed. Because seriously, critics, I don't know what. I understand that the way they told the story was a bit weird with kind of like branching timelines. They wanted to include everyone's story arc, like Ciri, Yennefer, and Geralt. And I understand that there wasn't a lot of Geralt. I understand that there was more of Yennefer. I understand that there wasn't a lot of action. But a lot of people have been saying there hasn't been a lot of monsters. There were like 10 monsters in the show. And some people say like there wasn't that much action at the beginning. Bullshit. There was plenty of magic in the beginning. So I'll have a look if it even pops up with audience reviews. They're not popping up. And there's been a review on here that said that a critic skipped to episode 5 and he thinks he has the right to have a final say on it. He says it was boring that he had to skip to episode 5. Now, I'll be honest, episode 1 drags, but until the end of the episode picks up so quickly. The first two episodes really like they're extremely dragged to the point that if you have to skip through a bunch of shit. The performances, the acting, the look, the the overall lore of the show presented is fantastic. The show is easy. If I were in charge of average tomato meter, I would probably rate it a 80 or an 80. The highest I'm willing is probably a 90. It's not at all an 100%. It's not without its flaws. But 56? Really? Man, come on. It's not that bad. And we take on over to IMDb, which gave it an 8.7 out of 10. And we'll look at their review. Some people are giving them high scores here. It's a 9.2, a 9, a 9, a 9, a 9. People are giving them 9s and 9s and 9s. And an 8.7 is fine. Like, I can accept that. But a 56 out of 100%? Bruh. This is. We've had instances like this happen before. That the line between critic and audience was very much made very clear. It's fuck off, Mozzie. Jeez. The same thing with the rise of Skywalker. I think. Hold on, what are the reviews saying? You see, there's a dividing here as well. The audience score is 86. I've not seen the movie yet, but the critic score is a 55. We'll move on to Star Wars here for a second. 55%. How high is The Phantom Menace, which is the lowest scoring Star Wars film of all time? So let's have a look here. Come on. Don't drop me off here. 53. So it's been obviously no, this is bullshit. It was 58, the same score as Rise of Skywalker a week ago. So obviously this is proof that Rotten Tomatoes are doing something to prevent backlash. And it's happened before, controversy with them. 55 for Rise of Skywalker. I haven't seen the movie, obviously, but I can count how many Star Wars films are way worse than Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi was rated a 90 out of 90%, and I think it deserves at least a 70. It was not great, but also wasn't good either. But the Star Wars films that I think are worse is The Phantom Menace, Attack on the Phantom Menace, 53%. I think it deserves a 30. It's a shit movie. Um, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Worst Star Wars movie I've ever seen. 65%. I would have given it a 15. It's a terrible film. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. 80%. No, it's not that good, but it's better than most prequels. I think the last one that is actually really bad is Solo. I hated Solo with a passion. They gave it 70%. I'll go in to the Attack of the Clones review and see if there's a dividing order to audiences. Yes, there is a little bit of a divide in there. There is the critic review is a 65%, and the audience review is at a 56. There's a little bit of a division there. And then we go over to Rise of Skywalker, which is apparently the worst Star Wars film since Phantom Menace. Audiences 86, critic 55. If there is blindly, this is out of curiosity. If Cats is actually rated higher than Star Wars, I will puke on myself. Not literally. I will puke eternally all over myself. Hang on. Let's take a look. Cats. Let's see, because Cats looks fucking atrocious. Okay, it got lower, 18%. Audience, 55. What the fuck? It's at least a 15. At the least. It looks horrific. Idris Elba, I hope he got paid a lot for that, because I hope he did, because that is just embarrassing. We have had instances of the division here. There is a mozzie in my room fucking around, so I better get done with this video quickly so I can spend the rest of the night trying to kill the bastard. And this movie is called Captain Marvel. I'm gonna catch that mozzie. So, personally, I hated Captain Marvel. I think it was an overrated piece of shit that didn't deserve praise. I think it was overdone. The CGI was good, especially for making Samuel L. Jackson look younger. So we'll go through the edge here. Captain Marvel, 78%, so it's fresh. What's the audience review say? 49. I think the reason why they gave it such a high score in critics is because it's a very female positive movie. And honestly, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm all for female positivity. But I went in with standard, normal expectations. Saw the movie. I didn't enjoy it. That's just a personal opinion. It's got nothing. Honestly, the Captain Marvel was the best part of the movie. She was badass, and I loved seeing her in every screen. But just everything else just completely just destroyed the film. So that's another example. But another divide I've got is maybe Black Panther. I don't know. Let's have a look. It's not the one I was thinking of. I was just thinking of Black Panther. I went from The Witcher to Marvel. This is not a video just about The Witcher and how critics are treating it. This is about the divide between critics and audiences. That's just another example. Okay, there's not a very good divide here, actually. There's critics 97, audiences 79. I think it deserves a 60. It's not that great. It's just not that great. I think the reason why is that because it's a very racially charged movie, and that's fine. But I just did not like the movie because I don't know. It just did not feel as epic. It did not feel as. It did not seem as good as everybody says it was. So, back to The Witcher. Yeah, the show is just completely great. Recommended to everyone out there. But the one problem is that the show doesn't give a shit about you. I mean, there are multiple problems, but the show just does not give a shit. It says, "Oh, look, you're on your phone looking at stuff, watching this. Well, guess what? You do your thing, I'll do my thing." Because it literally throws names, law, people, information, and all that other stuff at you at random times, and you have to be paying 100% attention to the show at all times to get what the fuck is going on. Um, and that's just that's just what it is. Um, but it's not a casual viewing show. If people were expecting like this to be a casual viewing, like something like, oh, just hop on and just watch one episode. No, it's not that. It is not that. It is Game of Thrones level stuff. You have to pay 100% attention. I can't get over that score. 56? It's not that bad. It's better, honestly. So, yeah, that's my opinion. I think you should all go out and see The Witcher. And, I might do a video tomorrow about a special thing like called The Seven Deadly Sins, the anime, because there's been quite a few rumors going around that the animation was particularly bad with the most recent episode. If it is as bad as I think it is, I'm going to get a little bit angry tomorrow. So, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and all that stuff. And I'll see you all on the next video. Bye, guys.